What's up, everybody? This is Jay, and this is Season 5, Episode 5 of Empire, The Depth of Grief. I want to thank everybody that supports my work at patreon.com/Jaymoorereviews, as well as everybody that supports me at PayPal. I wouldn't be able to continue doing this work without you. Please, if you haven't already, subscribe, and if you enjoy the video, click that like button. Now let's get into it. We first see Kai missing in action still on the TV. Jamal stressing out with his mama, and she's saying, "Look, baby, it's gonna be all right. That love you got, it's gonna keep him fighting. You know, the one thing that kept me going when I had a heart attack is," and then he was like, "I know it was your crazy boys," and she like, "No, it was your daddy smiled." Then he get a phone call, he answer, and next thing you know, they Cookie, she's worried about what's happening, and they're telling him that they found Kai and that he's in the hospital. So he's happy, he hugs his mama, he celebrates, and it seemed like everything's cool. So meanwhile, on the other side of town, we see Lucius, and he's sitting there playing the music of Devon, and the guy's listening to the music and everything, and so he's saying, "Yeah, Lucius, this is pretty good," and he like, "Yeah, this ain't pretty good. This ain't no kid. This Devon." He like, "Oh, okay, well, this kid, he lucky he got you back in him, or else he'll get lost in the shuffle." He like, "Oh, is that right?" He like, "Yeah, that's cool though." He like, "Good thing for you," and he like, "Well, I'm gonna give you first crack. That's why I came here, and so we go way back." And he like, "Oh, okay, well, it take more than the demo first." He like, "Well, talent speaks for itself. I gave you first crack. Now, I do have a listening party you can come through, but it might get cutthroat, so bring your best offer." So they leave. Meanwhile, we see Andre, and he's toasting it up with his old school frat buddies. And so they all laughing and talking and yucking it up. And they like, "Yeah, Andre, it's good you back home. You ain't one of those crazy murderers or whatever that's locked up." And he like, Andre like, "Well, everybody that's locked up ain't crazy or whatever." And they like, "Yeah, Andre, you know what I mean. No, you one of us. You not like those animals that's locked up." And Andre kind of look, he like, well, yeah, they ain't all animals, but yeah." And so old boy kind of gave him the look. They like, "If you need any help, give us a shout." And Andre kind of toasted it up, but he was feeling some kind of way that they dissed his friends in prison. Meanwhile, at the hospital, we see Jamal. He's running in to see his boo, and there he is crying, and so he's happy to finally be reunited. And as you see, it was feeling so good. And so they was hugging and kissing. He rubbing on that bald head. And they like, "Let me see that beautiful smile." And so Jamal starts smiling for him. And Cookie like, "See, I told you that smile keep him going. It keep him fighting." And so then they all hug, everybody happy. And then the doctor like, "Could you give us a minute? I want to talk to him." And he like, "Oh no, it's okay. We're all family. It's okay, doc." And so the doctor starts talking. He like, "Okay, well, your viral load is a little high, and that's expected. You weren't taking your HIV meds, and so your antibodies was working on the cuts and stuff on your body." And so Cookie is sitting here listening to the doctor talk about HIV load and HIV meds, and so she's starting to feel some kind of way. And then she look up, and here goes Jamal all kissing all on him and everything. She like, "Boy, come here. Let's give them some privacy. Come here, come on, let's go." And so Jamal let him go, and then he come and talk with Cookie or whatever. She like, "What is this that the doctor is talking about? Kai has HIV." He like, "Mom, that's because Kai does have HIV." She like, "What? Boy, what you doing? You just gonna let him get you sick? What you doing? Wait, what you doing? You sick, Jamal?" And he like, "No, Mom, I'm not sick, and I'm protecting myself, and I'm using PrEP, so I'll be okay." She like, "PrEP what? Prepping to die?" what you trying to do, boy? They like, no, Mom, this ain't nothing new. This is something that goes on between people with HIV to protect themselves. I'm fine. I don't want to talk about this now. I'm happy for Kai. And so then he walks off, and Cookie looking shocked right now of everything going on, and he all in love with this man that got AIDS. So the next thing you know, when she gets home, she goes and flips open the computer, and she's trying to educate herself about what's going on and living with HIV. And sure enough, her sister sees her on the computer talking about, girl, what you doing? Talking about living with HIV. What you looking at? She like, girl, don't be running up on me like that. I appreciate it. Her sister's like, well, you did ask us to come. She like, well, for your info, I was just checking because it's an artist with HIV. I was thinking about signing them. And so she started washing her hands and stuff. Cookie like, girl, what? She like, you can't mess with those people. They're reckless. You can't trust them, Cookie. You shouldn't sign that artist. You got a new family record label. You don't need to be putting people in jeopardy with those reckless people. It's just not safe, Cookie. And that's what Vivica was saying. And it was starting to get to Cookie. Cookie was starting to think for a second while she was sipping on that champagne. Meanwhile, we see Hakeem kissing all over Tiana, which is understandable. She gets up looking like a brick shit house, banging. And next thing you know, Hakeem get up, and you can see his body is real smooth. I don't see where he got shot with a shotgun. His chest and back look pretty smooth. But nevertheless, he's giving her a necklace. And the necklace said princess. And so he like, yeah, I want to give you this. And so she turned and they kiss, and he's like, yeah, so I want to make sure we together, and I'm going to show you that I could be here for the family. So we get back together. She like, I don't know. I got to have a meeting with Kingsley. I don't know if we back together yet. And then she putting the gun in his waist, and she see it. She like, you know, carrying that gun everywhere is not going to bring back what we lost. And so that got him thinking for a second about what he lost, and they had a flashback. And so he was flashed back to when she was pregnant, and he was kissing all on that belly, and they had her listening there, and Bella and everybody was all excited, and she was happy and everything, swole up. And then she's like, babe, my water broke. And so he all happy that the babies was coming. And so he thinking back, he like, look, I know it's not going to bring it back, but I'm never going to let nothing like that happen again and get nothing taken from us. I'm going to prove to you that I'm back for you. And so meanwhile, back at the Lion House, we see Lucius talking with Devon about his music. And he like, yeah, man, I like the music, but I don't know, I don't believe it. And so he starts singing again, and he like, yeah, I mean, just because you're louder doesn't mean it's more believable. And so he like, but you ain't heard this part. And so then he starts singing again, and Lucius like, I just don't believe it. What happened, man? What do you believe in? And so meanwhile, we see back at Empire, Tiana playing the song with her and Blake, and Kingsley is listening, and she like, sonically it's not exactly, it's what I want, but it's not, it's rough still, and I like it. And so I think this is great. And Becky's smiling, she got her dress on or whatever, and Kingsley like, you know what, scrap it, this isn't what I wanted. She like, what? And he like, yeah, I told you what to do with family and stuff. And Becky like, what? This ain't right, Kingsley. This is good music. And he like, I don't care. This isn't what I asked for. You're making some song with some illiterate baby daddy. This is not what I'm talking about. She like, well, this is music, not analytics. You can't just, you know, go to analytics when you're talking about real music. And Becky like, yeah, this is good, Kingsley. You should make it. He like, no, this isn't gonna work. And so he left, and Becky like, look, just sit tight, and I'll get you straight. Don't worry about it. And so then Tiana started thinking about it when she said sit tight. And so she had a flashback of when she was in the hospital having the baby. And Hakeem like, you okay? And she like, I don't know. I don't feel right. And he like, nurse, get somebody. She like, it's okay, honey. It's normal. And he like, hey, she high risk. She need help. She like, it's okay. we'll check. And then she start getting ready to pass out, and he like, nurse, she passing out, get help. And then they start to run and get help, and you can see all the monitors flashing or everything. And the nurse had told her to sit tight, so she mad, and she had a flashback about that. And she like, look, Becky, I'm tired of sitting tight. I have kids to take care of. You would know if you had kids. Becky like, look, I might look like I'm pregnant all the time, so I understand what it's like. And so she like, it's okay, Becky, you don't get it. You may look pregnant, but it's more than that. And then Becky got upset. Her dress started getting all messed up. She already looked like a muffin top cupcake with sprinkles. And so, she was getting a little pissed. And she like, I'm the one that was fighting for you. She like, you know what, Becky, I'm out of here. I'm done sitting tight. And so Becky, looking all shocked or whatever, her little muffin top was hanging out of her dress. Meanwhile, we see Lucius, he making steak sandwiches. She like, oh, what's wrong, Lucius? You only cook that when you worried about something. He like, it's divine. His music and his tunes is great, but he don't believe in nothing. She like, well, you better get him to believe, because we need to make this work. He like, yeah, I know. And she like, and we could get Jamal to help. And he like, oh, I know that voice. What's the problem? She like, well, Kai has AIDS. And Lucius looked like, what? She like, yeah, I know. I almost fell out on the floor when I heard it too. But I don't know. What we gonna do about it, Lucius? And he like, what we gonna do? Ain't nothing we can do. We ain't gonna do nothing. Leave it alone. And she like, leave it alone? How we gonna leave it alone? He like, well, I mean, if we try to do something about it, it's only gonna backfire. He's grown. He can figure it out himself. Kai, he made it out of the jungle all on his own. She like, oh, well, that's good. They like, they'll figure it out in the afterlife if they wrong. And so she took his steak sandwich and left. She was mad, left him hungry. Meanwhile, Lucius, he go back to work with Devon. He went to the basketball court. He like, come on, let me see what you got. Let's go. We out here. And he like, you know what? This is where I went when my girlfriend broke my heart. He like, oh yeah, really? Is that right? He like, you know what? Yep, my sister told you about that. Y'all slick, both of y'all. I'm gonna get you. He like, well, I just want to know what happened to you, man. I just want to know. You let me know. What happened? He like, well, I made a decision she ain't agree with. I said I'm gonna be celibate. And Lucius like, what? That's just not what I was expecting to hear. He like, see? I knew you wouldn't believe me. He like, no, I'm just saying, if you use that same commitment into your music, then you would be unstoppable. And so he started thinking about it. And so next thing you know, they go back to the spot, and he like, all right, now I want you to sing like you trying to convince her to stay. And so next thing you know, Lucius break out the guitar, start playing, and then he starts singing. And Lucius liking the lyrics, liking the soul, and now he's sounding pretty good now. Meanwhile, back at the Lion House, we see Hakeem in the room with his little crew, and he dancing, he playing the music, he rapping, he got his new song he doing for everybody. Little Chicken is all happy about it. Everybody is celebrating. He bouncing around doing his flow. Everybody like, damn, that was tight, man. But what's up with your boy Blake? He keep blowing me up. He like, yeah, man, I don't know what's up with that, but that flow is tight, bro. And so next thing you know, they get the little buzz that Tiana dropped a new song with Blake. And so he like, what? That's my lyrics. That was my song. And so he getting a little salty right now that song dropped. Nobody told him nothing. Meanwhile, back at the pen and the joint, we see Andre talking with little Baby Nuts and his mama. And so he's talking to him. He like, don't worry, man. I'm going to get you out of here. He like, you busting me out? Andre like, nah, man. Nah, I'm going to get you exonerated, man. Let me get you out of here. He like, oh, okay. Thanks, man. She like, thank you, Andre. I really appreciate your help. Now that we got a lion on our side. And then little Sheriff Billy Bob come. He like, Andre, it's time. And so she give her baby a hug. Bye, baby. You be safe. And so he like, hey, Mom, you trust Andre. If he can help, he will. And so Andre, he all, feeling a little good about it, trying to help. He like, thanks, Andre. And Andre give him a little dap back, give him the thumbs up. And so little shorty walk away, and she like, thanks, Andre. I really appreciate it. And then with you being wrongly convicted, that'll help. He like, I never said I was innocent. She like, yeah, but you didn't kill that lady on purpose. And he like, well, she took everything from me. So, I mean, I didn't not do it. She like, so you don't have no remorse? You don't feel bad? He like, well, you want me to lie to you? I mean, you want me to tell you the truth? She like, you know what? I gotta go back to work. He like, wait a minute, hold on. And she like, I gotta go. And so then she walk off and reluctantly, but she still give him a look back. Meanwhile, at the Empire, we see in the studio Treasure bumping this new song, working on the studio. And then we see Becky and Tiana walk in. They thinking that the music was for them. And then she sees Treasure in there singing a song. She like, wait a minute, that's my track. And Kingsley like, yeah, I gave it to an artist that knows how to listen. And so right now we don't need you. And so she was like, wait a minute, what? And Treasure in there singing all smiles. She's turning out to be a little sneaky little thing. And she like, what are you doing? That was supposed to be my song. And he like, yeah, but you released that track without me, without our permission. And you cost us a lot of money. She like, Becky like, yeah, but the free promotion will make up for that. He like, yeah, but now with Blake being unsigned, it's going to cost us even more. Thanks, but no thanks. You could dismiss. She like, yeah, well, that new artist will never be Tiana. And she like, he like, oh, well, that's okay. I'm fine. And she like, well, bye. And she give Treasure a little wave, and Treasure give her a little wave back. So they just started a little rivalry. Meanwhile, we see Mario, aka Devon, and he's dancing, singing at the little listening party. Cookie and Lucius is happy. Everybody dancing. Jamal with his boo thing, and they all happy. He's rocking the crowd. Everybody is all into the music. And then next thing you know, Lucius, he look up, see the producer, and the producer's happy. He enjoying the music. He enjoying the party. And so then Devon, next thing you know, he stopped for a second. Lucius come up, give him dap. He like, yeah, hey, we all right here witness to a future legend. Let me bring in another legendary songwriter to come and rock the stage with him. And so he calls out Jamal. Jamal comes down on the stage, and he give a little shout out talking about, yeah, this song is for my heart that's in the audience. And so he points to his little boo thing section with chocolate, and so he starts singing to him inside the crowd. And so he starts smiling and everything. He's singing to his man, and then everybody else start getting into the mood as well. And Cookie, she come and grab Kai and say, come here, let me talk to you for a minute. And so they come and talk over there to the side. Then he like, I never saw him perform live. Does he always come this animated? He's great. And she like, look, I need to talk to you about you having AIDS, and I don't want you to get my boy sick. He like, look, Cookie, I'm sorry. It's going to take more than some virus for me to do Jamal wrong. She like, yeah, but you can't make that type of promise. And so she turned, she hurt, and so he like, look, Cookie, I understand what you're going through, and I'm sorry about the hurt that you saw when you was in prison, but I am not going to hurt Jamal. And he wiping away her tears, and he like, I really love him. I'm a black homosexual male. Took me a while to say that, but I love Jamal almost as much as you. And then they hug. And meanwhile, we see Tiana and Blake come. He like, yo, what's up? I've been trying to reach you about that song. She like, yeah, I know. You welcome. It was the best hit of your career. And he like, yeah, but I was just doing that for us in the studio. You wasn't supposed to release that. And then Hakeem like, yo, what's up? She like, hey, what's up? Yeah, that song was great, wasn't it? He like, yeah, man, congratulations. She like, yeah, I love what he wrote. He like, what he wrote? That's my song. I wrote it. He like, look, about that. I was trying to call you, man, to tell you. And Hakeem getting his fist balled up. He mad right now. He ain't trying to hear nothing he say. Next thing you know, he haul off, stole on him, and cracked him one. He like, look, man, I'm trying to tell you. And then Hakeem, before he could say another word, hit him again for the second time. So Blake mad. He turned around, crack Hakeem. Hakeem fall. They about to fight, but then security breaks it up, pulls Hakeem away. So Hakeem, he walking away, he pissed. And then Tiana, she come, yo, what was that all about? You can't keep fighting and doing all of that. And he like, man, he stole my song, now he trying to take my girl. And then he have a flashback of when he was at the hospital, and the doctor was like, all right, here's the hard part. Do you want to see your child? And so Tiana was crying. She like, I don't know if I can do it. And they like, it's really hard, but you can do it, girl. You can go through it. And so she crying, and she like, you sure? I don't know. And then next thing you know, they take her, and you see one baby there, Prince, but you don't see Princess. And so she crying because the baby didn't make it, and she broke up. They had her see. And Hakeem, he's sad right now that his baby didn't make it. And so he's upset, and he's in deep thought about that, and he upset about it and hurt. And Lucius is sitting there trying to console him and letting him know that it'll be all right, while he's sitting there heartbroken. And so he had a flashback, and he like, man, I'm never gonna have that again. He trying to take everything from me. I'm not gonna let nobody take nothing else from me. And so he all upset and hurt. And she like, you know what? I'm done with this. You can't just keep fighting and bringing guns and shooting and stuff. I'm done, Hakeem. I can't keep going through this anymore. And so she walk away crying, and he's sad. It looked like they over with. Meanwhile, we see Kai sipping on some champagne on the balcony. Jamal come home. He like, hey, how you doing? And so they come and talk, and Kai, he looking all sad yet serious. And he like, Jamal, I want to talk to you. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. And I realize that I want to be with you. And so he gets on one knee, and he pulls a ring out. And so he like, Jamal Lyon, will you marry me? And so Jamal, he looking, he like, what are you doing? You took my move. And he like, what? And he covering up his mouth, and he like, what? And then Jamal pull out a ring like, I had one too. I was gonna ask you. And so they all both about to ask each other. They don't know who to ask or what to do. And so they both bought rings for each other, both about to ask each other. And so he get on one knee. He like, he was about to get up. He like, no, you stay too. We both stay down on the knee. And he like, will you marry me? And he like, well, it depends. Will you marry me? Well, I don't know. You marry me, I marry you. And then they hug and start kissing and tongue wrestling. And so I guess they married each other. And, that was a weird little thing, unique little situation right there. But it was interesting to see. Jamal, it takes a special person to find somebody that's injured or very sick and still love them. It's up to that person that they want to deal with it, and if that's what they want to deal with, then it take a strong special person to do that. And so regardless of all the stuff that they got going on, I give Jamal props for at least wanting to still be with somebody that had HIV. Like most normal people would probably stop messing with them or run away. So to that effect, I do give him props and courage for that. In the end, we'll see how it lasts or if it will backfire. Thanks for watching. We check out the next episode. Peace, and I'll see you next week.